The discussions we have in the studio, Kwabena Bonfe. He is the spokesperson of the CPP in charge of youth and sports. Thanks for joining me this morning. Daniel Ni Kwate Titus Glover is a member of parliament for Tema East. He's a member of the MPP as well.
Thank you.
What do you make of the Black Stars' performance in the last... And tomorrow you're looking forward to the Portugal game. I've heard you comment on it, I think, on some platforms, on a radio station.
It's a prayer that it wins, because the problem of the Black Star is lack of concentration. When you look at any time they score, they cannot defend their goals. And they always have the chances and the opportunity to add more goals. But you don't know what is making them not to focus on concentrate on whatever they are doing. So you could see how tight they are, because if they had scored Germany, this match would have been a walking over, because Portugal also wants to set a record, you understand. And look at the situation that the Black Stars find themselves. If they lose this match, obviously they are coming back home. So I think that it is a must-win match that would
Can they win?
They can win, because a lot of people thought, including myself, that Germany will have beaten us with more goals. But when you look at the composure of the boys and, you know, the way they played, which means that we can beat Germany. The selfishness of Jordan Ayew must have stopped, because he had a very good opportunity. The angle that he stood, it wouldn't have been able for him to score from that angle. And the best thing for him to have done was to pass it on to Asamoah. That is why it's a teamwork effort, you know, because even if he had passed and Asamoah scores, the credit equally will go to him. So he made the victory elude us. You understand? Because his brother has scored, therefore let me also, but not the way. We have been all footballers before. I have played active soccer in Afionia United, a premiership club in Tema. So it's a teamwork that we are all doing. So I'm sure the coach will have a word with him that this is your last chance. If you're in a position that you cannot score and your colleague is available, just pass it on. All we need is not fine soccer. How we can win. You can be playing all your nice passes and all that. But so long as you don't plant the ball in the net to give us the victory that we want, what I be playing is nothing. You understand? You could possess 60% of the ball. America possessed 40%, yet they were able to beat you in the game. So the marking and all the concentration that they need, this is the last game, and whatever they need, I'm sure. I hear they also complain about their money or something. Yes, please.
I hear $3 million has been
wired to them.
Flown. They don't want...
They want hard cash. Yeah. This is long overdue. I mean, you give it to them. But let me also tell the Black Star players, what they are doing for the country, the platform they have worth more than money. Because they are all playing their respective clubs in Europe or elsewhere. If they are able to excel, the money that they will make is even worth more than what the nation is giving them. So it's an opportunity for them to excel themselves and market themselves properly. You'll be possible that you can even get a better club with a better pay than what you are enjoying now. So I think that they need to be a bit careful. Of course, they are due for it. They should give their money to them, but they should have that at the back of their mind, that the platform that they have, play in the World Cup, that goodwill that is there, worth more than the money that they are taking from the country.
Youth and spokesperson of the CPP.
Well, let me say good morning to our very cherished viewers. The initial comment I'll make is that watching the encounter between us and the Germans, if our boys had played with the kind of enthusiasm, the zeal, the strength, and the determination as they did in the match against the United States, I sure believe we would have beaten them. You know, to the game. I don't want to predict the scoreline, but we played far better in the
second match.
The match against Germans. I didn't watch the first match. Yes, but it is only the replay And when you compare the two, you could see that we played with an improved performance than we did in the and we were expecting a bit up there. This time, I'm trying to tell you that patriotism in Ghana today is dying because what is it that we are dying for? And this morning I heard the Deputy Minister for Youth and Sports, my own senior Joseph Yamin, talk about the fact that the players demanded and insisted that they be handed cash as against the ministry's option of maybe depositing it in their accounts or giving them checks. You know why? It tells you a lot. The psychology of even the players. That they have no trust in this government. In the end, they will tell you that, okay, we'll pay you in checks, but the checks might go to the bank and bounce, as is happening with some institutions.
So you're saying that it's because of a certain precedent? There is
no, the attitude of the government is killing patriotism in the country, to the extent that even the euphoria and the spiritedness of the Ghanaian for the national team in most is going down. I'm saying this for us all and the people in charge of government. To ponder why even in soccer, patriotism is going down.
How do you make that conclusion? That's my point.
Well, you see, I'm saying, I've given you a number of scenarios. I'm at least in 2006, I knew what it was about, okay? The interest that people had and all that. Of course, as you said, part of it was because it was our first appearance. But also, there was some kind of feeling. I recall our match, one particular match when we played against the United States and we hit them. That was on the Oxford Street. People were hugging each other without identifying which color of a person. That
could it also be, Mr. Glover, that perhaps because of the current challenges the economy is facing, and people feel that there are certain things also perhaps not right with the team and the preparations towards the tournament, as a result of that, and that might have deemed some level of enthusiasm or euphoria prior to the start of the tournament, coupled with the performance against the U.S.
You mean the Black Stars?
Yes. And whether people are patriotic enough and whether people are supporting them as they used to in the last two tournaments.
I will agree with Kobina that the enthusiasm in 2006
and 2010
was so high. Why? Because that was a maiden World Cup that Ghana is going for the first time. Therefore, the enthusiasm will go very high. And their performance was quite good. And looking at the 2010 in South Africa was a plus of their performance. But you see, in everything that we do is about good planning and strategy as to how you go about these things. If you want to do the continual laissez-faire attitude of doing things, these are some of the results that you're going to get at all times. So I think that yes, they are there. But these days, the ability to really demonstrate that patrioticness in the killing of this country, unfortunately, we are not seeing it. Because, excuse my language, we are politicians. The public always think that it is we, the politicians, that are not making things work. And for that matter, if you are expecting the general public to reciprocate in that aspect,
they don't
want
want to.
Problem. But hey, these are people who are in authority, and the kind of actions, their actions, things that they do, will really compel the entire nation to go along with them. You understand? So I think that yes, we can still do it as a nation, and the spirit of patriotism must still come back to let us know that look, we are Ghanaians first. It is the football that really unifies all of us, regardless of all our political differences and all that. But if the playing body psychologically, because Sky Mojao, cash, because the father is playing in Europe and he has money, he still believes that he has a duty to collect that money to make sure he will deliver. And look at Michael Essien. On 2 occasions that he had injury, it was not the state that took care of his injury.
Even though he had it on national duty.
You know, absolutely. It was his club, Chelsea, that took care of the responsibilities. So if I'm going to play for my country, die for my country, and at the end of the day, I will injure myself, and the state will just abandon me, and it's only my club that would take care of that responsibility. This is what has affected him. Do you understand? So some of these things, you don't blame the players too much. It is a responsibility.
I know you've been a player before, so you know how it feels.
So it is the responsibility of the executive to deliver.
And especially when there's been a precedent that the old players were given nothing during their playing days or their heyday.
Yeah.
And now don't seem to be doing well financially as far as their livelihoods are concerned.
You see some of them, they're like paupers.
They are.
Those days when we are playing football, you play with
some passion.
Passion. That's the word. With passion. But these days,
I like the way you...
Yes, with passion.
Okay, we have to change the subject.
Liquid.
We have to change.